Shalom. Kol Haloyim Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Racha Kodash and Shani Kabad and Kadwala Rekwab Zekwanyam Nawa Wa Shalayakim Nawa. That's the belongers to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom Wa Barakim Labakaryim Shalyasharala. And that's peace and blessings to the elect of Israel. I wanted to make a quick video concerning two articles that I found surrounding this C-19. And as you can see, this first one says C-19 pandemic is no longer a global emergency, and this is coming from the World Health Organization, WHO. And so the point in this video is just to keep watching, because no matter what, there's going to be more diseases, there's going to be more plagues, there's going to be more earthquakes and turmoils of the people. Just because WHO declares this pandemic over, don't think for 1 second that prophecies are about to just start slacking and things are going to slow down all of a sudden. And then now you have time and you want to do this, that, and the third, and now you start taking your eyes off of the kingdom. You have to make sure that doesn't happen. You have to make sure that you're constantly watching, constantly praying, knowing that the prophecies are going to continue to hit. And we're going to grab some of those precepts to show that. But first, we will watch this quick 53-second video, and then we're going to grab one more. Oh man, they're gonna make me reload the page. Hopefully there isn't an ad. We shall see.
How do you evaluate the Brazilian response? What Brazil did that no country should repeat?
It's therefore with great hope that I declare COVID-19 over as a global health emergency. However, that does not mean COVID-19 is over as a global health threat. Last week, COVID-19 claimed life every 3 minutes. And that's just the deaths we know about. As we speak, thousands of people around the world are fighting for their lives in intensive care units. And millions more continue to live with the debilitating effects of post-COVID-19 condition.
Yeah, and so, just like
a path to education after high school is available.
It's something that I've been saying for quite a while, or I'll just say every so often, which is the ramifications of C-19 are still around. Businesses have been lost. People lost their livelihoods. A lot of people lost their jobs because they didn't want to take that vaccine. And then now all of a sudden it's declared no longer a global health emergency. Right? And then a lot of people didn't want to take that vaccine, and they took it anyway, just to keep their job. So now we don't got to wear masks, right? You can go outside, different places, things like that. And then just a few short weeks later, the same guy from the World Health Organization, he comes out and talks about this. The next pandemic, even deadlier than COVID, is coming, warns the World Health Organization. So now let's listen to what this same exact guy has to say.
Can down the road. If we do not make the changes that must be made, then who will? And if we do not make them now, and when? When the next pandemic comes knocking, and it will,
when?
We must be ready to answer decisively, collectively, and equitably. And for enhanced international cooperation, the Pandemic Accord, a generational commitment that we will not go back to the old cycle of panic and neglect that left our world vulnerable, but move forward with a shared commitment to meet shared threats with a shared response. That's why we say the pandemic accord is a generational agreement. A commitment from this generation is important because it's this generation that experiences how awful a small virus could be.
Yeah, so honestly, when I first heard that, what it sounds like to me is order out of chaos. He said, when the next pandemic comes, and it will. It sounds like they're planning something. Sounds like they want something to happen. And we know the bigger purpose. It's for the micro CHIP to be fully established. You create the problem, and then you bring in the solution. And so they've already have this thing mapped out. They have a blueprint. They have a plan already of the next disease and how they're going to get it to spread. And then they have the solution, what they're going to do to quell the people and ultimately bring in this charagma, this MOB. That's what it sounds like to me. And so all the article does is outline the things that he said in his speech. But I did want to read this, and then we'll get some precepts. It says, the WHO has identified priority contagious diseases. These are likely to cause the next pandemic because of their potential to spread across a region and because there are few, if any, measures in place to counter their spread. These diseases include Ebola, Marburg, Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome, C-19, still in there, Zika, and perhaps most terrifying, something called Disease X. Now, I looked up, okay, it says it. Disease X is the WHO code for a disease caused by a germ that hasn't even been discovered yet. And honestly, that's what I think it's going to be. It's going to be something new, just like how C-19 was new. It was something that wasn't really out there, but boom, all of a sudden out of nowhere, they're talking about, oh, it's coming from China, blah, blah, blah. That's what I perceive. Something that isn't around now, probably manufactured in one of their laboratories, right? Probably got a patent for it and everything, excuse me. And that's going to be how they create this order out of chaos. So, point in the video is something else will come. Something else will come, and be on the lookout, be prepared, build up your spirit, because the next one that comes more than likely, it's going to change the world in a far greater way than what C-19 did. And there's only going to be bigger and heavier plagues to come. We already seen how heavy C-19 was this past pandemic. Imagine the next one. What's really going to happen? It's going to be an even greater and longer, probably permanent global shutdown. So we only have a few precepts that we're going to get and keep this short and sweet. This is 2 Ezra 16, starting at verse 37. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack, as when a woman with child in her 9th month bringeth forth a son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth great pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Those pains come harder and faster. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, meaning the plagues are going to come harder and faster. And the world shall mourn, and sorrows shall come upon it on every side, because it's only going to get worse and worse. And that will be the time of Jacob's trouble that we're constantly talking about, right? It's definitely coming very soon. And of course, wisdom and knowledge would be the stability of that time. And it goes on to say the strength of your salvation. Chronicles. I know why I was there. But anyway, this is the book of Psalm 91, That's all I'm going to get, and now I'm going to just get the balance. I'm going to get the balance to it, because this is something that the elect don't have to worry about. Now we call ourselves a hopeful elect because we're doing the Lord's will, we're doing his work, and we have faith in him. So regarding us, I'll speak optimistically. Psalm 91, starting at verse 9. Because thou hast made the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation, there shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. GMS is one of the only main, I'll say maybe the only camp out there that had a strong stance against the C-19. Very straightforward. We weren't wishy-washy going back and forth. Oh, well, you can kind of, maybe get the max if you got to keep your job. But, nah, it was nothing like that. Look, don't get it. Pray to the Lord. Have faith. Take the necessary measures and have faith. That's it. Boom. Even brothers, you had brothers that caught it. Shoot, I caught it. But I'm all right. I'm living. I'm doing well. I'm strong. I'm healthy. I took herbs, I prayed, I'm over it. Right? Now, when these things get worse and worse during the time of Jacob's trouble, that's when we're really going to be on a certain level, when the Lord is going to really, have our back to a certain degree, a higher level, which is why verse 11 says, for he shall give his angels charge over thee to keep thee in all thy ways. So not only will plagues not be touching us, but any and all kind of evil. Lord's will, if we're those a part of the elect, those men and women, right? And of course, children as well. No plagues, no diseases, no kind of people trying to, jump us, beat us up, rob us, steal us, just crazy things. It's not going to be happening to the elect. All these evil things and these plagues and other kind of turmoil is all going to be coming for the purpose of getting the wicked. It's coming for them, for their judgment, not us. I know I had one more. Psalm 91. Let me just type in. That's plague. Let me type in disease. That's why I was in 2 Chronicles. It may have been Psalm 37. But I'm not tripping. I'll just type in some keywords and see what pops up. All his days he eateth, the writing. It's a decent one. He will cut me off with pain and sickness. Maybe diseases. That's a good one. Psalm 103 verse 3. Who forgiveth all thine iniquities, who healeth all thy diseases. Like I said, brothers, including myself, caught that C-19. But I know one damn thing for sure, we didn't take that vaccine. And you got people with blood clots, like people having to get their arms chopped off, fingers chopped off, for real. Catching random heart attacks late at night. Yeah, all from taking that vaccine. Why not? I'll end off with one more regarding prophecy. Just to, get some more precepts. I'll end off with this. 2 Corinthians 15, starting at verse 1. And I'll just read down through verse 5. It's pretty much straightforward. Verse 1 says, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity, lack of faith, of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. And I don't know why I didn't mention famine. That's definitely coming. But once again, it's coming for the wicked. All these things will be coming in the end days. They're going to come faster, harder, and more often. But the elect will not have to worry about these things. And that's why we preach to build up your spirit, strengthen your spirit, pray fast, and ask the Lord for more faith. And he'll give it to you. That's all you need to endure in these end days. So I pray that this video was edifying. Call Aloyim Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rachakudash. The belongings to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.